this video today is what makes an aligner case go off track. And you can see based on this video that I recorded it before I finished my infographic that went with it, just because I'm so excited to get this content out here today. And it usually takes me about a day or so to make my infographic, so sorry about that. But in any case, if you attended our aligner webinar last week, sponsored by Garrison, there were over 1,000 of you that attended, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for those great reviews and the follows and the emails afterwards. I really appreciate it. But anyways, I just wanted to recap a few key points, just in case you missed it. What makes an aligner case go off track? And definitely IPR is definitely in the top 5, I would say, which is why you definitely should sign up for our IPR webinar, which is going to be November 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Hawaii time. I hope that you'll be there. If you learn to do IPR at the beginning with pre-curved files, or curved files instead of straight files, or a disc or a burr, you can eliminate a lot of appointments, as well as you can make fewer revisions and refinements. And we talked a lot about at our webinar last week about your refinement rate and knowing your refinement analytics. If you're with Invisalign, that is something you can actually opt into, and you can ask your territory manager what your refinement rate is and if it needs improvement. And the vast majority of general dentists, I think, do need improvement. The rates are, I asked our old territory manager, the one where we are, what our rate was versus the rate of the average general dentist. And she was saying that, yeah, general dentists generally have a much higher refinement rate because they're just not doing it right, which is kind of funny because it's like cutting teeth and you would think you'd be better than us at it. So I just think that you guys aren't buying the right systems and you're trying to do it with burrs and discs, which really does not work very well, at least in my hands, in terms of being accurate. You tend to like ledge it and wedge it and overcompensate and remove too much enamel. As well as wreck the gums and everything. So definitely attend my IPR webinar. It's free. You'll get CE units. You have nothing to lose and we do have a cap on how many people can sign up. So make sure you sign up soon. All right. So IPR is definitely one. The next would be the quality of your treatment plan. And that's where most general dentists also drop the ball. You guys are subscribing to these engines, and I'm not going to say what the engines are. And if you watch my videos, in my opinion, those engines, yeah, they're not so good in my opinion. So, I mean, when I look at a case, I go, oh my God, really? No, come on, man. And there's a reason why the orthodontists don't have access to the engines, right? I mean, they're trying to make it quick and easy and simple, but the outcomes are just not that good, in my opinion. I have to keep saying that because, and of course, I'm not mentioning what the engines are, but Align Technology, I'm talking about you. If you don't like what I'm recording, all you have to do, you don't have to send your lawyers, and this is the same thing, I have to say this on every video now, with any other company out there. If you don't like what I've recorded, it's my honest truth, it's my honest opinion as a clinician. I'm not getting paid to say something. I don't work for a certain company that is anti what you do. What the heck? But I don't know why that's there. Woo. Ultimately, yeah, I'm just not thrilled with what the engines do. I really believe that every single patient has, and I don't just believe, this is standard of care. This is what we're taught in school. This is what dental practice acts and dental boards and insurance companies look for. Every single patient deserves to know the risks, benefits, and alternatives. Even if you're not willing to provide comprehensive care, you still need to explain it and or show it or refer them to somebody that can. And this is where I believe, in my opinion, I think it's risky using those engines. And again, just my opinion, Align Technology. If you disagree, you can shoot me a very nice email and ask me to take this down, and I will. But, I think that if doctors understand a little bit more what their options are, then maybe they'll learn to do things properly. You can still give a shortcut, anterior only treatment plan, but the patients need to understand what ideal is first. Okay. So that way they can do a clear opt-out on it. I understand the risks, I understand the benefits, I understand the alternatives. I still choose this shorter, more compromised plan. Great. I don't have a problem with that in that case. Anyways, so yeah, usually it's the treatment plan isn't great. I have a ton of content. If you go to my Invisalign playlist or ClearCorrect playlist on how to optimize treatment plans. Otherwise, just work with an orthodontist 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 times, and there's a lot of us that are doing this out here. I just, you should feel a little sorry for your orthodontist because the industry has changed a lot. And, it's one of those professions that I think is way oversaturated. It wasn't 20 years ago. And it's definitely declining in terms of need, you know, with all the new technology out there and more general dentists doing the work. So it is what it is. So, you know, support your orthodontist, give them, you know, compensate them a little bit for doing what they do. So IPR, a better treatment plan, and lastly, of course, is the compliance loop. You must have a quality compliance loop. That doesn't mean taking their word for it. That means checking virtually every single aligner. Almost every orthodontist I know does this in one way or another. It might not be every aligner, it might be every 3 aligners virtually, and maybe they're coming in the office every 8 to 10 aligners. But you need to have a tight loop on them. You can't just give them a big box of 10 aligners or give them all the aligners and say, bye, are you wearing it? That does not work. Okay, it's just like working with teenagers. You need to have them be checking in and educating them what tracking is, how it works, what happens if they go off track, how chewies work, when you should use them, when you should backtrack. And if you educate your patient on how this works, then you should have fewer to no refinements, assuming you did the IPR right and assuming your treatment plan is optimized. That's it. It's not that hard. Aligners are crazy, crazy easy if you do those 3 things. All right. Thanks so much.